There's a door at the end of the hallway that I never let you see, where the photos don't have frames yet, where I keep the oldest me. You're laughing in the kitchen somewhere, clinking glasses soft and bright. I stand here with my hand half raised, tracing lives I've kept from sight. I can hear your footsteps shifting closer through the wooden floor. Every echo feels like questions creeping under this old door. You don't know there's whole interiors that I've painted over twice, where I hide my quiet failures, where I store the sacrifice. I could say that room's a mess, make a joke and move you on, or I could turn and twist the handle, let you see what I have wrong. There's a door at the end of the hall with my name on the peeling wall. If I let you step inside, will you stay or will you hide? All the parts I never show, all the cells you'll never know. If I open it at last, will we break or will we last? You call out, you coming back? I say, yeah, just give me time. Every second by this doorway is a line I might cross or deny. Your keys lie quiet on the table, silver circles, quiet wait. You say you're in no rush to leave yet, you don't mind if we run late. Part of me is glad you're staying, part of me is scared you'll see that I've only shown you hallways, not the whole inside of me. You lean back into the sofa like you've always belonged there. Meanwhile I rehearse confessions in the silence of your stare. Every time you share a story, you unlock another wing. I can hear my inner doors softly rattling on their hinges. You don't know you're holding copies of the keys I never cut to the rooms behind my ribcage, where the curtains all stay shut. Keys on the table, night on slow. You're more inside than you should know. If I hand you one more set, will you keep them or forget? Keys on the table, I stay still. just deciding who gets access, who gets through. Maybe this is one small moment where I choose myself and you.
Morning crawls across the ceiling. Dust is dancing in the beams. You're still sleeping on the sofa, softly tangled in my sheets. In this quiet I see clearly all the corners I've ignored, all the boxes I've been stacking, so my heart stays understored. You don't see the way the sun hits, photographs I tucked away, faces that I never mention, visions that I never say. If I let you walk beside me through the rooms I never clean, would you trace the dust with kindness or regret what you have seen? The light is unforgiving, but it's also always true. It reveals the hidden layers of this house I built up soon. Dust and light floating slow, all the things I never show. If you see them, will you stay, or will softness fade away? Dust and light stripped and real, all my half-forgotten feels. If I stop sweeping them aside, will you hold or will you hide? Maybe I'm not meant to sparkle, every inch controlled and bright. Maybe love is letting someone see the dust inside the light. Down the hall there's one small chamber, I don't call it anything.
It's the space where I keep endings, where I store what used to sting. You ask me what's behind the doorway. I say nothing, just some stuff. But my throat gets slightly tighter, like the word is not enough. Versions of this could have been. I have never let a person cross its threshold, breathe its air. If you walked into that silence, would you recognize me there? I have lived by subtle borders, drawn in fear and painted thin. If I out loud now, is that how the truth begins? This is the room with no name, full of ghosts I never claimed. If you step across the floor, you'll see who I was before. This is the room I never show, where my unspent stories grow. Take a breath and twist the handle. Let the hinges sigh and give. You stand quiet in the doorway, like you're asking if you're meant to be the one who sees this version. All the mess I never sort, broken frames and folded letters stacked in crooked tender forts. You don't speak, you walk in slowly. Trace a picture with your hand, not to judge it, just to notice where the hidden corners land. For a moment I feel naked, fully seen without defense. But your eyes stay soft and steady, like this chaos still makes sense. You say you know this doesn't scare me. I've got rooms that look like this. Something in my chest unclenches, like a truth I almost missed. This is the first unlocked door. You're the first to walk this floor. Through the clutter, through the dust, through my complicated trust. This is the first time I've let someone see what I regret. If you're still here when we're done, never seen, where I've hidden what I've been. We wander slow from room to room, like a quiet guided tour. You confess you're just as tangled, that you've got your own locked doors. Every story that you offer is a hallway into you. I can see your shadowed corners match the ones I stumble through. We're two houses side by side, joined by corridors of doubt. Every time we share a secret, we knock inner walls down. It's not neat and it's not flawless. Paint is chipped and floors still creak, but there's something almost holy in the way our hallways speak. You say I'm not here to fix you, I say I'm not here to save. We just walk and hold the lighting for the places we were brave. Hallways between us, softly lit. Every fear we half admit. We don't need a perfect plan, just a hand that understands. Hallways between you and me, link our separate histories. If we keep on walking through, will my rooms open to you? Maybe love is less about one big moment, one big vow, more about the steady stride down the halls we used to hide. We spread the plans across the table, invisible but understood. Talking through the ways we're wired, where we've knocked down areas of good. You tell me how your trust was fractured, where a beam gave way too soon. I show you where my fear of leaving built a wall in every room. We're not changing overnight here, we're just naming how it's built. Studs of worry, nails of memory, foundation poured in quiet guilt. But the more we say it out words, the less heavy it becomes. Like we're redesigning slowly where the waiting light should run. You say we don't have to finish all the fixing in one go. I say just don't leave me structure if I show you what I know. Blueprints and bones lay bare tonight. All the structure wrong and right. If you see where I might break, will you stay for the remake? Blueprints and bones not yet complete. Still a work in fragile feet. If we build this carefully, will there be a room for maybe every heart like this is a house mid-renovation. We can live here while it changes if we choose some patience. There's a room I keep for others. Guess who never really stayed? It still smells like old arrivals, like a half-forgotten face. Suitcase corners in the carpet, coffee rings on bedside stands, little echoes of the people who just brushed across my plans. I've been used to brief encounters, folding sheets when they all leave, never asking for commitment, just a temporary reprieve. Now you're standing by that doorway, asking if there's space for you. Not for weekends, not for passing, but for something real and true. I have always kept this chamber ready for a quick goodbye. Can I learn to let it anchor someone more than just a night? Spare room, heart, half-made bed. No one stays, that's what I said. If I let you settle in, will this be where we begin? Spare room, heart, rented space. Used to be in just some place. If you call this room your own, will my chest feel more like home? Maybe love is changing use of the rooms we once refused, turning temporary stays into you. years wait. There are drawers I never open, filled with letters folded tight. Every line a quiet moment where I almost chose the light. All the times I nearly told them how I felt and who I was, stacked in ink and unsent paper, little monuments of pause. You don't ask to see the contents, you just say I've got them too. Notes to people I stopped calling, words I never let get through. I can feel a softer courage rising up between our chests. If I pull one out and read it, will it free what's still repressed? You say we don't have to share it if it cuts too close to bone, but your voice is like a lantern, making all this feel less lone. Drawers I never open wide, where my unsaid lives and hides. If I let one see the air, will its weight still keep me there? Drawers I never thought I'd show to another soul who'd know. If I hand a page to you, will you read me gently through? Maybe all these unsent lines were just practice for this time, learning how to form a truth I can finally share with you. We sit under the low warm lamplight, cross-legged on the wooden floor. You say, tell me what you're scared of, when I knock on inner doors. I can feel my throat grow tighter, like it's guarding something frail. Every word a fragile teacup, I'm afraid will tip and fail. So I start with smaller stories, how I struggle to believe that when people say they're staying, they don't also plan to leave. You don't rush to reassure me, you just nod and let it land. Then you offer up your own fears, place them gently in
the parts we never showed, on the rooms we never owned.
We pause halfway up the staircase, between upstairs and downstairs life. You say something almost reckless, I say something almost right. All the rooms above are waiting, but this landing feels like choice. If we climb, we cross the threshold. If we descend, we lose this voice. I can feel my pulse get louder than the creaking of the wood. You stare straight into my questions, like you'd hold me if you could. I admit a deeper wanting that I've kept behind the rail. You confess you felt it too long, but was scared that you would fail. We are hanging in a moment, not yet up and not yet down. Every step could change the layout of this inner fragile town. Heart on the staircase in between every room we could have been. If we climb, the view will change, and if we don't, it stays the same. Heart on the staircase, almost there. Breath caught halfway in the air. If we rise or if we fall, this is where we risk it all. Maybe some confessions need hide between the floors we lead, so we feel the shift in height when we walk into the light. There's one door that still stays shut, even with you in my space. It's the one that holds the panic and the fractures in my faith. You can hear it when we're talking, like a tremor in my tone. When you hit the almost topic that I never learned to own. You don't push, but you don't back out. You just stand a step away, saying I will not go in there till you want me in that place. Still the presence of you waiting shakes the lock inside the frame, like it knows a day is coming when it will not hold the same. I'm afraid if I release it, all the beams will start to fall. You say, hey, let it tremble slowly. I'll be here through it all. Locked room, tremor in my chest, rattling hinges, shaking breath.
letting tremors show the fault, so we know when not to hold.
There are things beneath the floorboards that no blueprint ever shows. Old regrets and faded patterns running under all I know. Sometimes when we dance in circles, I can feel them creak below. All the times I played it harmless instead of telling you my no. You ask why I keep apologizing for the smallest, gentlest things. I say it's just how I'm wired, but I feel what the wiring brings. Underneath the need for safety has me bending out of shape. I've been hiding my discomfort in the cracks I help you pave. You say lift a board and show me what you're stepping on each day. I say if I pull it open, will you help me clear the way? Under the floorboards there's my shame, patterns I can't always name. If I show you where I sink, will you stay or will you shrink? Under the boards the history of how I let you over me. If we raise them plank by plank, will we both stand up more frank? Maybe love is sharing weight, not just walking how we're shaped, letting someone feel the strain, so we mend the boards again. Lying back, we watch the ceiling, cracks like constellations spread. You say funny how this building holds our stories overhead. All the times I thought of leaving, all the times you almost fled. Live between these painted panels, like unspoken words we said. We're not perfect, we're not seamless, but there's something in this roof, how it's held through storms and seasons, still intact if not pristine proof. We could fix each imperfection, we could patch and paint it clean, but I love the lines that show us where the pressure once had been. You say I don't want new plaster if it hides the way we've grown. I smile, maybe all these fault lines are just proof we stayed, not flown. Shared ceiling, oh
but a choice to sleep beneath what we've weathered, what we keep.
All my life I face my windows outward to the moving streets, measuring my worth by passing cars and strangers I would meet. Now you sit across the room and ask me what I see tonight. I turn inward for the answer, not just outward for the light. There are windows in my chest that I have frosted from inside, so I wouldn't watch my own thoughts, so I wouldn't see my pride. You suggest we draw them open, let the interview come through, to watch how I talk to myself, to see if I'm ever true. I have been an absent landlord in the house behind my skin. Now I'm learning how to notice all the windows facing in. Windows facing in at last, watching feelings as they pass, not just scanning outer scenes, but my private in-betweens. Windows turn toward my own silent thoughts I've overgrown. If I treat them with more care, will I love myself in there? Maybe you were not sent here just to walk my outer sphere. Maybe you're the one who stayed while I turned to face my ways.
We have nights where we're not talking, both in separate quiet rooms, not from anger, just from needing space to sit within a truce. Still beneath your closed door glows a soft and dim but steady line, proof that even in our distance you're still here and I'm still mine. I once feared all closed up doorways meant rejection, meant you gone. Now I see that sometimes loving means we let the space stay long. You don't pry when I go silent, I don't panic when you rest. We just trust the light is burning on the other side, no test. Boundaries used to feel like walls, now they feel like sacred frames, holding what we've built together while we tend our separate flames. Light under the door at night, saying I'm okay, alright. We don't have to overshare to prove that we still both still shining after all. I walk into a room we argued in, and it's quiet as the sky. No more words hung on the ceiling, no more sharpness in reply. Just the echo of our voices, lingering but growing faint. What was once a battlefield is now just walls and subtle pain. We have learned to leave some spaces without trophies, without scars. Not every conflict needs a monument engraved with who we are. Some rooms only hold the lesson of how not to lose ourselves, how to speak without erasing what we keep upon our shelves. Silence doesn't mean avoidance, it can mean the work was done. Now the echo just reminds me we survived and we moved on. Echo in the empty room, fading like a distant tune. What was sharp is now just sound, softly settling to the ground. Echo in the quiet space proves we left without disgrace. Not as winners, not as bruised, just as people who refuse. Maybe healing's not a song that we play forever long, just a note that gently fades while we live in calmer days. We strip the bed and change the linens, open windows, air it out. Not because we're starting over, but because we work things out. You make coffee in the kitchen, our four corners smooth the spread. There's a peace in simple gestures after all the words we said. Same old walls, same old reflection in the mirror by the door. But the way I see this building isn't how I did before. Once I thought to feel brand new, I'd need to leave it all behind. Now I learn that transformation can occur while we still time. We don't need a different city to become who We can change the inner layout in the rooms of you and me. Clean sheets, same house, softer air. We've been lost, we're still here. All the doors remain in place, but we move with different grace. Clean sheets, same life, gentler tone. I feel safer in my bones. We didn't burn it to the ground. We just changed the lives we found. Maybe love is this quiet, fresh in bed and open blinds. Living in familiar spaces with more honest, open minds. There are rooms we chose not entering, even once you'd earned the key. Places holding certain memories, best left as a privacy. Not from fear that you would judge me, not from shame of what you'd find, but from tender self-protection of the oldest parts of mine. You don't knock against those barriers, you don't pry or push the lock. You just sit with me and others where the light is free to talk. There's a deep and quiet safety in the choice to not explore every inch of who I've been yet, till I know I want you more. Not all closeness needs full access to the archives of my heart. Some rooms stay untouched and sacred as a core unmoving part. Rooms that stay close still are mine, even as our lives align. You don't have to see them all to be present in my home. Rooms that never meet your eyes don't make love a smaller size. You just honor what I got while we share what's less than heart. Maybe trust is not complete. X-ray of my every beat. Maybe it is you saying I'll be here, we're never staying. say funny how this doorstep feels like where we really chose. All the times we could have left this, said our keys and walked away, but instead we crossed back inward to the work of choosing to stay. We don't know what lies ahead yet, but we know we've come through. Every step across this golden line is a yes to me and you. Golden threshold, quiet shine, where your footsteps meet with mine. Not a grand, dramatic vow, just a daily here and now. Golden line we cross each day, when we choose to talk, to stay in this house of hidden rooms, growing light in every clue. Maybe this is what we mean when we talk of home unseen. Not the walls or where we live, but the thresholds we forgive. Now I stand inside the doorway of the house behind my ribs. All the rooms I once kept secret are at peace with how it is. You are somewhere in the kitchen, humming low at ease and warm, not invading every chamber, just a part of this new form. I can walk into that locked room, feel its tremor but not sink. I can open up a window, let my thoughts come in and shrink. There are still some hidden corners, but they're mine to share or not. You don't measure your affection by how much of me you've got. I have learned that I am housing more than fear and more than doubt. There is space for love and stillness without burning myself out. This is the house inside my chest, not yet perfect but it